Summer showers, dust that chokes, acres that just won't end. Exmark knows the job of a landscape professional isn't an easy one. That's why we've crafted a legendary line of mowers built to overcome any obstacle. So you're ready to close the deal and finish the job, like you always do. Cut from the same red metal as your Exmark mower, you aren't just good at this. You were built for this.
You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no-nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It is your host, Brian Fullerton here, hanging with you guys, and good morning. Well, guys, really excited about this podcast episode that we have going on today. We are going to be talking about all things numbers, bookkeeping, and helping you guys get your ducks in a row. We have a returning guest to the show, somebody that I've had a lot of great conversations with over the last couple months, and somebody that I'm really just thankful and excited to share with you guys out there in the lawn care community. We have Carla joining us here from Cycle CPA. So Carla, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Hi, Brian. I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. Well, last time we had a podcast episode, it was a couple of months ago, and we had just announced a new collaborative partnership with you guys to help folks in the green industry with bookkeeping. And quite honestly, we had a couple 1-hour powwow conversations because I vet folks a lot before we bring anybody on board to our audience and get to partner up, whether it's an affiliate link or a product or service. And it was just such a match made in heaven because I found somebody that was excited and is passionate about lawn care and knowing their numbers as I was, as well as somebody that had the bandwidth to actually take care of the folks that are going to be calling in, have that personalized touch, that personalized service with helping them have a more successful lawn and landscaping business. And I don't know, you guys listening in, how many times have we heard the statement, know your numbers, or what are your numbers, or your man hourly rate? These are common questions that I still get every single day. And that's kind of been the crux of the conversation the last 2 years on a lot of podcasts, but we're still wanted to just, hammer this home to help you guys have a more successful business. So you guys are profitable. So you guys are making money at your craft and doing what you guys are doing. So Carla, for some of the folks that maybe didn't get a chance to hear that episode that we did a couple months ago, can you give me like the high level introduction of Cycle CPA and you and Joseph and what your guys' backgrounds are?
So I'm the CEO and co-founder of Cycle CPA, Carla, and the other co-founder, Joe. And what we do is anything from bookkeeping all the way to CFO services, and we are just specializing within the green industry. Currently, we work with over 160 green industry businesses across the United States. Our team, our accountants in-house are also distributed across the United States. With us focusing on the green industry, we're able to provide that higher level, advisory level service where we do the benchmarking, the green industry benchmarking for businesses, the key performance indicators. And that's really what sets us apart we're not just doing the data entry work, we're actually providing this information to business owners so that they can go and make better business decisions.
Gotcha. Well, so one of the things, for example, I love what you just said there. And guys, by the way, if you're listening in, this is going to be just a helpful conversation talking about bookkeeping, knowing your numbers. If you guys do want to check out Cycle CPA and sign up with them, that's awesome. That's great. You guys can check them out later. Right now, we just want to add value and just kind of help you guys understand how to run a successful company right now. But we do have an affiliate code. I think it's Brian. You can punch it in on their website and save $200 towards signing up with these guys. Or if they have to kind of go backwards and kind of clean up some of your books, which was my story, they can at least credit that towards kind of cleaning up your books and helping you guys get your QuickBooks organized and so on and so forth. So let's get the pitch out of the way. That way we can talk about the meat, right? So, but I will say this, we've had a couple dozen folks sign up with Cycle over the last couple months. And the reports I'm getting are great. I was just in Ohio a couple of days ago talking to a friend of mine who works with you guys. Nothing but great things to say. Okay, so many folks are giving me some really good feedback that have been signing up and onboarding these last couple of months, which makes me really happy that other people are getting engaged and knowing the numbers and helping their businesses thrive, not just survive, if you will. So by the way, Carla, you said you guys have how many people are working for you guys right now? Don't you have like a team of 8 or 10 or something across the country, you were saying?
Yeah, right now it's a team of 9.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Okay, well that's really, really exciting. So let me kind of back up the train here really quick. Let's talk about the conversation of knowing your numbers. What does that mean to you, Carla, and what should that mean to a business owner that's trying to run a successful company? What does knowing your numbers really mean?
Right. So knowing your numbers is really just a broad statement that I hear a lot in this industry, but I think when it comes to knowing your numbers, it's actually the business transactions that take place on an everyday basis within your business. Whether you're transacting and buying a mulch for a project today, or tomorrow you're going to go out and buy skid steer, or maybe you're investing money into your business. It's an accumulation of all of those transactions. And for us, we take those transactions and we do the bookkeeping and accounting work so that we can develop the financial statements. And those are the numbers that you need to know. These numbers need to be backed by accurate accounting and bookkeeping, right? So we're able to present those numbers, but we know that they're accurate, and then we're able to deliver some key performance indicators, like you said, Brian, your man-hour rate, your overhead rate per hour, the benchmarking to see which areas in your business that you need to improve on, right? And I think a lot of the time, as business owners, we just want the highlights. We want to know, okay, where am I lacking in? What do I need to do better? And okay, I have a lot of the times when we're doing benchmarking, we tell the business owner, hey, it looks like you're overspending on materials by 7%. We need to work on that area, maybe giving them some recommendations on that. But also knowing that we have the backup for that we're doing the accounting and bookkeeping correctly on a monthly basis to be able to even get to that level.
So that's one of those things where we're talking about compliance. It sounded like number one. So everything's organized and categorized correctly. And this sounds like such a weighty word to throw around. I don't know if you guys are listening and you're like, am I compliant? It's one of those words where that would have put the fear of God in me about 4 or 5 years ago. The way we operated, the way we ran our numbers, the way we ran the business, nothing was as compliant as it should be. It didn't mean we didn't have integrity or doing things on the level. It just meant things were not where they all needed to be. And I'm telling you what a game changer it's been a couple years later. So number one, we're talking about compliance. Number two, it seems like we're talking about a conversation. We're talking about a continuous, ongoing conversation that your bookkeeper is having with you to help you navigate and better understand your business. So what does that conversation typically look like when you guys have a client that's working with Cycle CPA? Because before we hit record, I asked you, I said, what are some of the conversations that you're having with folks that are signing up lately? What are their problems? What are their issues? What seems to be the low-hanging fruit that you're helping them solve? You mentioned balance sheets and income statements and P&Ls. Can you weigh on that for a few minutes? Like what's the conversation that you're having with most of the people signing up lately?
Yeah, so with the benchmarking that we do, we take the profit and loss statement. So for example, we would take the profit and loss from year to date, and we would benchmark their profit and loss statement to industry average, depending on the services they provide, because the different service lines within the green industry just have different margins in general, So if somebody's providing design build services, that's what we're benchmarking them against, this design build company. So we take the profit and loss. Let's say that we see that the gross profit is low. then we have to drill in deeper. And let's say that we see that material expenses, against the benchmark is just higher than average. Then we communicate that with the client. We get to ask them questions like maybe there's a large job that you take on that maybe they purchase materials up front for and they're going to receive the revenue later on. Or maybe it's a lot of the times right now what we're having conversations with our clients is that they don't have like a designated buyer if they're at that level, or if the business owner's just becoming very busy, right? And they don't have time to buy all the materials for all of the projects that are going out. And maybe they have an employee that has a credit card and they're not being as diligent in looking over the materials that are purchased. This is where it really could go south. So we've been seeing that a lot if the material purchases don't go through an approver. It's the benchmark always comes out like higher, or it could be an indication of that. And so when we put this process in place, after a few months, we see that this gets more in line with the benchmark, and they're able to save costs on that. And that's just one aspect of the benchmarking.
What are some of the KPIs that you guys usually lead with? So if this is new lingo to you guys, bear with me. I feel you. I literally was just doing a coaching call with a gentleman last night named Cody. Super cool dude. Shout out to Cody. He knows who he is. And he was like getting started with Yard Book, and he's trying to figure out a bookkeeper. And I'm like, you got to put the team together, man. You got to start building the foundation. He went from brand new business 3 months ago to 29 clients in 3 months. He's got a truck on order. He's got new mowers. He's got a lot going on, but he's like, I can't do the sales and marketing without getting the accounting bookkeeping, because he's like, I'm already feeling like the business is pulling away from me with my numbers. And so talk about, if you don't mind, like some of the different KPIs that you help people first off, what is a KPI? I think you've already mentioned it, but then what are some of the stuff that you guys focus on the most?
Yeah, so a key performance indicator is a metric, a ratio, percentage that allows you to keep a pulse on the financial side of your business on like certain measures that you need to be looking at on a monthly basis at least. So one important key performance indicator in this industry is revenue per hour, or your man hour rate, right? Because this is a huge indicator of your pricing, your estimating, and the efficiency of your field laborers. So it's something that we want to measure. We measure for our clients. And so we take their revenue number. We can know that that's correct because we're doing the accounting and bookkeeping every month. And then we take the field labor hours. A lot of this, that's derived from the payroll reports. And so we plug that in there and we get a revenue per hour. So, if you have multiple service lines that you're offering, so maybe you're doing design, build, and maintenance, this is going to get you an average hourly rate. But if you have your financials broken out by division, then we can get you, that granularity that is needed per division as well. And so if we see that, we have this conversation with our clients, is like, okay, we present an hourly rate of, I'm just going to throw out a number. This does not mean anything. But let's say it's $50 an hour. And we say to them, is this what you were thinking? Like on average across the board that you were, charging per hour? They said, no, well, I thought on average I was charging, let's say they said $70 an hour. So that's a $20 difference, disconnect from what's on their financial statements from what they think that they're billing. Gosh, and so then we work backwards from there. Yeah. And then we a lot of the times it ends up being that they're just not recouping their overhead costs enough. And so them knowing that they make their changes in their estimating system, and then the next time we meet, we can see an improvement in that revenue per hour rate.
So you guys are having conversations with folks. How often? Do you guys have a quarterly, a monthly? What's typically with? And I think there's 3 different tiers as we sign up with Cycle CPA. When are you guys having these conversations, and how often?
Yeah, so it is on a monthly or quarterly basis, or even on a bi-weekly basis. And so with the essentials package that we have, that's our first tier. We do have 3 tiers. That's more for a business owner that's just starting out, or has an employee or two, on board. And we're meeting with them quarterly, but we send out the financials on a monthly basis. So they're able to review their numbers on a monthly basis.
Gotcha.
And then with the second and third tier, we're meeting with them monthly or biweekly. And with that, we even go through a cash flow forecast where we forecast out the next 6 to 12 months worth of expenses and revenues, and we forecast the ending balance in their bank account. And so that's another key performance indicator, is the net cash flow of a business. A lot of the times there's a disconnect between your net income, right, on your profit and loss. It could be high, it could say 15%, but then a lot of the times you're left with the question of, I don't see that in my bank account. What am I doing wrong, or what do I need to fix so that I'm able to make more of a cash flow? Because there is that disconnect, because on your balance sheet, all of your loans will be listed on there. Mm-hmm. So if you have, loans through Sheffield or Ford, and you're paying these off on a monthly basis, that's going to be on your balance sheet. So it's not truly showing your cash position at the end of the day. And so the cash flow forecast gives you that insight into seeing, okay, these are all my loans, these are all my expenses, this is my owner's draw. And then we look at it like a profit and loss, the cash flow statement. We take your revenue minus all of your expenses, but even your loans and any other liabilities, sales tax liabilities that you may have, we add it to the forecast. And that's how we're able to measure the net cash flow. You want your business to produce a positive net cash flow. What that means is that every month that goes by, your bank account balance is increasing. I think that's what every business owners want, right?
Right.
So,
which I didn't have the best track record of that, folks. Just so you, not that you guys don't know that. My first, I've said this, I was screaming on a podcast 5 months ago. I'm like, if you're not banking $10, $20, $30,000 a month, or $100, $200, $300, $500,000 a year, or whatever your number is, I'm just telling you guys, I'm not here to give you a pitch to just sign up with Cycle. This kind of stuff changed my life and changed my business, having a great bookkeeper. And so we want to have this conversation, and it might be the dry topic. It might be we're not talking lawn mowers and trimmers and blowers and going to live events, but I'm telling you, it's the conversation that nobody wants to have, Carla. Like, and then people come over, they do a coaching call, or they're like, hey, I don't understand what knowing my numbers means, or I can't get a hold of this thing. What's going on? I'm working like a dog. And I'm like, you got to start. You just have to grow up. You have to mature as a business owner and say, I've got to spend time in the books. I've got to spend time in the office getting this animal under control. Sorry, not to go on a soapbox, but that's the value that you guys are offering there.
Exactly. And, cash flow being, one of the top reasons why businesses fail. I mean, you want to at least have a forecast, and there's so many forecasts on online that you can download. I know QuickBooks, they offer a free one. I'm not saying that we have to do it, but at least have some sort of cash flow forecast, because we were having a conversation with one of a pretty large business, and they were breaking even on their cash flow. And we're able to diagnose exactly why, and then work towards those changes. This doesn't happen at night. If you're breaking even on your cash flow, you're not gonna all of a sudden make this change. It's going to take time, and it's not just one solution. So we're able to really diagnose all the problem areas and work towards a solution where at least, your cash flow should be at least 5 to 10% positive cash flow every month. So that's where we're really working towards getting these business owners to.
Now, can you help me explain? So a cash flow forecast might sound fancy for some folks. You're running $1 million company. You're going to have a cash flow forecast. I think just a simple budget would behoove so many people out there. Just a simple budget. Can you help me? Can you help me explain the difference between a cash flow forecast and a budget? Because maybe people have heard both of these buzzwords and they're trying to figure out what's the difference or what's the similarities between both.
Yeah, that's a good question, Brian. So a budget is it's based on accrual basis numbers. So whether or not you have received that cash inflow, it's going to show as revenue. Sometimes you have AR. So if you bill a person for $4,000 this month, but they haven't paid you yet, the budget would be based on the $4,000, but the cash flow would not show that $4,000.
Right.
So the budget is based on an accrual basis, and the budget only has profit and loss numbers. It doesn't have your balance sheet. Now remember, the balance sheet has all of your outflows, whether that's payroll liability, sales tax, loans, your draws from the company. That's a lot of times that's an owner's equity section of the balance sheet. So the company-wide budget only shows a projection of your profit and loss statement, in essence, on an accrual basis. And this is good for, your company-wide budget is good for production and measuring your budgeted direct labor hours versus your actual labor hours, how you did on your profit and loss, and then your net income, right? So that's something essential that you want to have too. But then the cash flow forecast is simply showing you the cash inflows and outflows, and then your ending balance in your bank account, the forecasted balance in your bank account. So
cool.
It's easier to digest, in my opinion, the cash flow forecast. And I think if you're, within that $1 million or up phase, you really want to invest into rendering a cash flow forecast, just because at this time you're probably making a lot of different decisions, such as maybe bringing on administrative staff or acquiring more machinery and equipment. You can use the cash flow forecast for scenarios too. That's my favorite part. Because you don't want to just make a business decision and not know how it's going to affect your numbers. Mm-hmm. So this is when the scenarios come in. We kind of plug and play. A lot of business owners right now, they're looking to purchase trucks and different things like that. So we just plug that into the forecast, the down payment, see where if that's even feasible or not. Or maybe it's not feasible, and we advise them, hey, could you delay this purchase until November? We're able to give them that insight.
That's really, really helpful stuff. I hope you guys, I know it might sound like a foreign language, and Carla's doing her best to make it extremely simple, but I would really encourage you guys to maybe hit rewind for about 4 minutes and listen to Carla again, because I'm telling you guys what, she's giving you the sauce. She's giving you the secret. And in the beginning, I wouldn't have the financial IQ, just to be honest, to understand what is even happening right now in the conversation. But we're trying to keep it 101 for all of you guys listening in. But let me go give a simple analogy. I was listening to Corey Ballard just the other day with the Green Grind podcast, and he had a really, really good gentleman on that was a younger business owner. He might be 30, 35 years old. But he was growing the company like wildfire, and he was saying the biggest struggle for him was going from like $500,000 to about $4 million, because they were just talking about how cash was all over the place. And Corey asked him a really good question, and he said, like, what was the biggest thing that you wish was actually out there in the industry? And the guy had said, understanding how to go from $500,000 to a $4, $5, $10 million company. There's that upper middle sized business to a large business. There's not a lot of great content, and basically the guy had distilled it down to talking about financials and forecasting and budgets and when to hire certain people. And maybe you're spending money on salaries for administrative purposes, like you were just saying, Carla, but we're investing into that to then grow top line revenue, right? So infrastructure to grow. So as some of you guys grow a bigger business, these are, my company is, we're doing a couple $100,000 a year. Some of these conversations are a little more broad for a larger company, but a lot of you guys are trying to grow a bigger company and you're like, how do we get a handle on this thing? Well, and again, it's not a pitch, but I'm just telling you, Carla offers like the second and third tier. It's like well, Carla, actually, let's do that really quick. Just talk about it. Cause I don't want it to be a pitch, but guys, like it is what it is. This is what they do. And there's so many people out there that need this. So here's just the honest conversation. So, Carla, you get the essentials bundle, but then what are the two packages after that? I know one's a CFO, like a remote CFO, but what's the second tier?
The second one, we just call it the advanced package. It's kind of like for that, $500,000 to I would say to $1 million, you could even go where you're not quite ready for like a fractional CFO but you want more of that insight to see where your cash flows are at and how you can work on some of the problems during the slower season, or you're looking to add on more equipment or whatever it is, and have those scenarios built in there. And then the higher level one is the CFO, which, again, this is roughly, a rough estimate, but like $1 million or more, where that, we could even render the budget on that end too, on the company-wide budget as well. So.
Awesome. If you guys heard a lot of noise there, I just smacked my headphone as I was getting a sip of water. So I apologize if you guys heard anything on the mic. Real life over here. Well, this is really, really good. Carla, I really appreciate getting when you're able to jump on the podcast for a few minutes here and help these guys better understand their numbers, better understand, what they need to be focusing on in their business. Actually, really quick little announcement here, guys. We're still figuring out the details behind the scenes, and it's a couple months out. But first off, Carla and them are and their whole team, or at least Carla for sure, but they're going to be coming to Launchpreneur Academy live this fall when we have our live event in November. So I'm really excited about that. I just threw it out there. I'm like, hey, can you come and like do a 10, 15 minute presentation and just talk to these guys and help them with their numbers? And then maybe people can meet you in person and sign up and all that. So if you guys want to meet her and the team, they're going to be there in November. So tickets will go on sale here in the next couple of weeks. So guys, hang tight. I got a lot of people asking when do tickets go on sale. Cal Parks, I'm talking to you. So I'm just having fun. So that's one exciting part of the conversation here. But number two, legitimately, guys, I've had probably about 15 to 20 folks over the last couple of weeks that have told me that they've signed up with Cycle CPA, they use their code, whatever, they're signing up, and they're getting clarity in their business. They're better understanding their numbers. Carla and her team are a real firm with 9 people on staff. They have the bandwidth to help you guys out. You're getting your monthly reporting on time, which is one of the things I'm getting complimented the most, Carla, is that you guys have on-time reporting. I'm really, really excited about funneling folks your guys' way to somebody that I can trust with my name and your guys' name to have a winning partnership to help these guys grow. So I just wanted to, again, just say a real quick thanks for taking a few minutes to jump onto the podcast today and to just continue this conversation. We're going to have you guys back on. I know once or twice more. We don't get paid to. There's no exchange of money here to get you guys on the show. So just so you guys know, I don't have any ulterior motive other than wanting to help you guys have a more successful business. And for me, you guys have heard my story 100 times, but the number one thing was getting a bookkeeper, a qualified CPA, and getting a better handle on my numbers. For example, just to go full circle, my per man hour rate just like 3 or 4 years ago was like $37 per man hour. It was brutal. And today we're about $74 per man hour and running a solid 20% profit margin, true net profit on our company. And we're actually growing that like crazy right now. That number should go up another 5 to 7% this year. Top line numbers are up. I know my KPIs. I know a handful of them. I know what's going on with the company. We don't just get a P&L. We take time to have that conversation and better understand it. And I really just encourage you guys to do the same. Okay. Give Carla a phone call. They don't bite. Okay. Give them a call. They will help you guys understand all these different things. And to go full circle really quick, just like I was having a conversation with my friend Cody last night, he's like, how do I get all this figured out? And da-da-da-da-da. He's 3 months into this thing. And I said, brother, you're going to have to give yourself a year or maybe 2 to understand the language, the lingo, the business, the numbers. He's a 20-year-old kid figuring things out. You guys have to give yourself time to better understand your business. Don't feel like if you don't have it all figured out that, you're the oddball. A lot of people don't. And so, like Carla said, most businesses are going under because they're not paying their taxes. They're not understanding their cash flow. And we want to help you guys avoid those pitfalls. It's not doing the work. It's Mike Bedell said this on the Know Your Numbers podcast we did with John Pajak a couple years ago. He said, instead of talking about know your numbers, if we could just talk about accounts receivable, a lot of folks would be in a much better position with their business. So how much money is owed to you is a strong conversation to have and a good conversation to have with Carla and her team. So Carla, that's my rant and soapbox. Anything you want to leave these guys really quickly? We got you, and we'll button this thing up.
Yeah, no, just to piggyback on the AR, it actually made me think about a conversation that I had with business owner. And, when we look at AR, we want to measure your business and see how fast you're collecting compared to other businesses in the green industry. Ooh. So we're able to give you that insight in that, sometimes a lot of these business owners do have that gut feeling, I think my AR terms are too long or too short, or am I in line? So we're able to let you know, hey, I think, you should be getting paid faster. So this is what you can do. And we get our suggestions. And again, circling back to cash flow, that just is able to increase the efficiency of them collecting. And also, that's better for cash flow. So just wanted to add that.
Yeah, I love it. Well, guys, that's what we're going to have for today's show. A little bit different podcast. We wanted to get a little technical on you today. You guys cool with that? Really quick, if you guys want to get some more information with Carla, you can go to cyclecpa.com. They're also active on Instagram. They've got a growing account there, and a lot of folks have been reaching out to them via Instagram. Whichever way works better for you guys to connect. Instagram, email, the website. Just let them know that we sent you, because you do save $200 off. That was an offer or an incentive that they provided to you guys, our listeners, and the show to help you guys sign up and save a couple bucks there. But guys, they're hungry for it. They want to help you grow. I'm hearing nothing but good things, which makes me really happy behind the scenes as well. I really want to make sure that you guys are getting the best experience possible out there. So, Carla, anything else that you want to cover really quick? But if not, I think that's pretty much it for today. Yeah, no, that's all. I want to thank you for having me on, Brian. Oh, right. You betcha. That was my Amazon Alexa. I don't know how that is connected to my mixer, but any which way, it might be connected to my phone. So I got some packages that just got delivered. Maybe that's some of my payments from some of my clients that are not 60, but any which way. So just having some fun there. All right, guys. Well, we'll button this thing up here. We'll kick it back over to Marty, Mr. Producer, down in the ATL. And again, thank you to Carla for having this conversation with us from Cycle CPA. We'll catch up with you guys here on the next one.
Summer showers, dust that chokes, acres that just won't end. Exmark knows the job of a landscape professional isn't an easy one. That's why we've crafted a legendary line of mowers built to overcome any obstacle. So you're ready to close the deal and finish the job, like you always do. Cut from the same red metal as your Exmark mower, you aren't just good at this. You were built for this.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.